Let's talk really briefly about Halloween. I'm seeing a lot of Christians online discuss this topic, and they're essentially broken into two camps. You have one side that is saying that God is calling us to move away from this holiday that is clearly demonic and that we should have no association with it. Then you have the other side that are saying it's not a big deal. I want to share with you a story from the Old Testament. Now, God provided a lot of dietary laws to Israel regarding clean and unclean animals. And he says, for clean animals, you may eat every one that has cloven hooves, meaning the hoof is split into two parts, and that chews the cud. Then he gives an example of some animals that may look clean but don't satisfy both requirements. He says these animals, even though they chew the cud, they do not have cloven hooves. They are unclean for you. Why am I sharing this? Because when you look at this, you understand that these animals that chew the cud, they're an example of those that eat the spiritual word. And then the cloven hooves, the meaning that the hoof is split into two parts, is an example of someone that's able to discern between that which is holy and that which is unholy. And God goes into great detail requiring these dietary laws. And the reason is that he's trying to train Israel to have discernment, that the more that they're able to pay attention to the small matters, it'll make it that much easier when someone comes in with false doctrine later. God has always had standards for his people. He says in Leviticus, "You shall be holy, for I am holy." And he confirms this in 1 Peter. He says, "You also be holy in all your conduct, because it is written, 'Be holy, for I am holy.'" God has called us to come after him, to walk according to his ways. And it says we are to be as obedient children, not conforming ourselves to the former lusts as when we were in ignorance. The thing to understand is that there was a point in time where we did not understand the Lord. And even when we're new on our walk, we are in ignorance. But as we mature in our walk, God requires more of us. But when we were in ignorance, God overlooked this in Acts 17:30. Truly, these times of ignorance God overlooked, but now commands all men everywhere to repent. God winks at our ignorance when we don't know better. But for many of us, we've been in the faith for far too long. And at some point in time, we have to start following the standard that the Lord has set. Because he says in 2 Corinthians, what communion has light with darkness? And when we go out and we celebrate holidays like this, we're communing with darkness. And I've seen ex-Satanists condemn Christians, saying, why are we celebrating this holiday? More human sacrifice goes on during Halloween than any other time of the year. And they celebrate in the Church of Satan that Christians actually celebrate Halloween. So this should be a red flag for us. And Jesus says in Luke, why do you call me Lord, Lord, and not do the things which I say? And I think this is a wake-up call to many Christians, that there's a difference between having faith and having faithfulness. And if you want to understand that difference, go and talk to any married couple. They'll clearly define what faithfulness means really quickly. And God has that same standard for us.